so that we can put this on the web and anybody else can get the information on replays. Sage Fixed Assets is part of a suite of tools, depreciation, planning, and tracking. There's tracking. Tracking is really if you move inventory in and out, we're constantly tracking where it is for insurance purposes. Planning is when you're building buildings and you want to start capitalizing on your depreciation, even though the asset isn't completed. It's in process. Depreciation hands off on that. So these three work together, but depreciation can work all by itself and work with Sage 300. And that's what I have open, and that's what I'm going to talk about today. Now, just to go over Sage Fixed Assets for those who, I'm sure they've seen our Sage webinar back in late January, but just to go over Sage Fixed Assets, it has a new interface for those who have saw the old version, so it's more graphical. So you can look at assets, you can look at reports, you can look at administration, and then the assistant center. Likewise, when you close and open a company, I can close a company. When I open a company, I get my choice of companies. I'm using Westfield's Bakery, so I click OK, and I get my Westfield Bakery and all my assets. So in this version, I'm limited to, I think it's 100-something or 300-something assets. It's got 350, so I guess I'm over the 100 limit. That's right, I know I am, because this is actually a working version. And here are the assets. So that any asset, you have drill down, and I can look at any asset in detail here as well. And that detail, and what today I'm going to talk about, and the reason why I'm bringing this up, I have assets that are active, and Sage Fixed Assets keeps track of when I last depreciated it. So in this case, this asset was depreciated, and all assets were depreciated through 12/2014. If I look at some other assets, and I'm just going to go back to my list. There we go. I found a couple that were only purchased recently too. And let me go back to my list. It was in the center. Some of these assets were placed in service at different times. And some are, so if I look at my full asset depreciation, I can close this down. Let me just asset list. Whenever I run depreciation, so what was the purpose of this webinar today is many a times you'll find out you've depreciated your assets, you've continued month after month, things are going great, everything is working perfectly, and you realize the accountant came in and said, we need to get the list of your depreciation schedule for back in May of 2015. Like, well, we're already May 2014. We're already in December. We depreciated through. So now I've got a problem where I've got to undo all my depreciations to give him that schedule because he lost the papers. I didn't save them. How can I do that? Well, Sage Fixed Assets is going to handle that pretty well. I'm going to show you that. So it just reminds me when I'm running depreciation, make sure there's other users, so it restricts them. So it shows me who's on. I can call somebody else up if I have multiple users in and say, I have to run depreciation schedule. Please log out. So you don't hold over an asset on me. I'm going to look at active assets. And for those who don't know depreciation, Sage Fixed Assets depreciation, it comes with selected, all complete, active, disposed. Those are standard groups that are there already, and you can add your other groups that you may want to have. Today's we're going to talk about using a group like active assets. So I can look at my active assets. Oh, I got to select a book, that would help. And I select my tax book. So I run my tax book, and I have to select the date, 12/2014. Did somebody else join us?
This is Peggy.
Oh, hey, Peggy. Good afternoon.
Hello.
Glenn is on. Thanks for joining us. I'm just going through, and I'll stop for a minute and just take a second back because I did start a few minutes early. I do apologize.
Okay.
I'm talking about Sage Fixed Assets in just a quick review, it's part of a suite of fixed assets, depreciation, planning, and tracking. So I'm talking specifically today about fixed assets depreciation. And I understand Ruth Dusseldown just recently purchased fixed assets from Sage.
That's true.
Okay. So we're going to talk about the product, and this is the product. And this product works with Sage 300. So if you're in Sage 300, one of the things you'll see, it has the fixed asset depreciation integration setup. And in the options, and your Tandem Technology Specialist will set that up for you. You can see that depreciation and what company you're using. Because Sage 300 will work with one depreciation database, of course, database to database. And Sage Fixed Asset will allow you to send out assets to one or more Sage 300 databases. So what you saw here is I've had integrated this, and even on Sunday, I went and played around. This annoying thing's going to keep coming up, and I've added to the bottom of my list some purchases that I did in Sage 300. And they came over as active assets for Sage Fixed Assets. So I added Lenovo personal computers, 3 of them. I do want to point out one thing you'll notice. If you have Sage Fixed Assets open, it's like Excel. It reads the entire database into memory. So you can do work in Sage 300, add an asset, create the asset for Sage Fixed Assets, go over here, and it's not here. He's like, what? Where'd it go? It turns out you have to reopen the company, and it'll be right there. So Sage 300 stores it right into the SQL database, but Fixed Assets, like Excel, it opens the worksheet and doesn't reread the worksheet when Sage 300 updates it. So you just have to close the company, open the company again. And that's a simple task. Just go to File, Close Company, and then File, Open Company. Pick your company, opens right up. Okay? And then you'll see your new assets. And they always go to the bottom because they get the next system number. And Sage takes care of that for you. You don't have to worry about that. It's all done for you. So now we're going to go to the topic. We now have a little background on Sage Fixed Asset. It's like a big spreadsheet, and I can scroll across it, see all my columns, right? And all the information. And of course, in the detail view, in the asset view, I can see my information that can come over from Sage and my own personal information I can set up, as well as the depreciation information and the information that Sage is going to track for me. Okay? And that's the bottom half. So as you see, it's in blue. That means these are active assets. They have an 168 allowance, the current year-to-date depreciation, current activity year-to-date, cumulative depreciation. And then if it's closed, the date the asset was closed. Okay, so now we're going to talk about depreciation, because we brought up the scenario where you depreciated, as you saw. I depreciated my assets through 1/2014, and now I want to go back. Actually, I did it further. If I look at my asset view, we go into the file, my company preferences. Update my preferences. Where's my preferences? Right here. Yeah, I'm missing it. Oh, preferences. Here they are. Refresh and save. Automatically show screenshot. Look at my asset screenshot. You can set that off and on. So when you close a company and you reopen the company, you can see your asset snapshot. It comes up. Here it is. And it shows me that I've depreciated all my assets to 12/31/2014. And what I want to do is, somebody just came to me and said, "Oh, the accountants are in, and I want a depreciation schedule from May of 2014." Oh, I've already depreciated through December. Well, They lost the papers. Figure it out how to do it. No worries. Easy to do. All you have to do is we're going to show you depreciation. We're going to pick a tax book, and we're going to do through 12-2014. And we're going to run all active assets. And it'll run the depreciation schedule, show my depreciation expense. Yeah, I tested this in study, so I pre-tested it would come out perfectly. Let's see if it works true to form. Let's see if Murphy didn't come in and jinx me. So here it comes. Here comes my depreciation schedule. And if you look at the Sage depreciation expense report, this one's 7 pages, if I remember. So it has my system number, my extended life, how many years and months, in-service date, which is key to Sage fixed asset, the acquired value, what type of property it is, real property, my depreciation method, the estimated life of the property, years and days, the depreciation basis, because I can have my acquired value and my depreciation basis, because I can have retained value when I salvage the item, what it's been depreciated through, because this one here is fully depreciated, and then this depreciation run by current year to date. So I can see some of this asset has more depreciation value still left to it, so it's depreciating it. These have been fully depreciated, and the same, these have values. So if I go to the last page, I want to show you that here we are. We're 6 million. I'm going to write this number down. I'll put it in Notepad. 6,206,319.30, and my depreciation year to date is 387, 175.80. So keep those 2 numbers. I wrote them down, but just keep those 2 numbers in mind. I'm going to close this down, and we come back to the problem we started with, where someone comes over and says the accountant wants to see a depreciation through May. You say, oh, okay. Well, what I can do is I can set clear period close, and I want to do all active assets, and I want to close period close and before that's on or before it's 6/2014. 014, right? Period close on or after. I'm sorry. Yep. Close anything after 5 because I want to see May's. All right. So it's 5/2014. I want to do for the tax book. So I'm going to hit OK. Did I not? Oh, didn't I specify a group? Let me do that. Active assets, tax book, clear period on or after. I did it in testing. Not all. 5/14. There are no asset and that's like the group. Clear period and confirmation on that date. I must have did it and not do it through 12. In other words, so let me. Okay, go here. No, I know I did that. Okay. Close that down. I'm going to, yep, set my close for my tax book on active assets through okay. I want to depreciate through. Yep. I'm going to depreciate through. I don't want to say period close. I want to depreciate through. Okay. Yep. Depreciate through 12/31. So let's make sure my tax book for active assets for 12/31. I depreciate all the way to the 12/31. So I really have the right depreciation schedule. Okay, go to the last page, scroll down, Okay, 274, 387, 175. Good. That's good. And I probably have to set my period close to that date. When I was playing around on Sunday, I didn't reset things back to what it was. Okay. Click OK. I'm going to set my tax book for active assets to 12/2014. Click OK. So what it's doing is I'm making sure that I'm really at 12/2014 for those assets. And I'm really set to the right amount. Last page. Make this full screen. If it's small, please speak up because sometimes I don't realize. So we should be set for 12/31/2014. There's our totals as it was. 321 assets, which it is. That is correct. Because that's how many assets I have. And I close that down. I close that down. So now I should be at the point where I can reset my depreciation clear periods. I should be able to close selected assets, active assets. I'm going to select all, matter of fact. Select all. And I want to do 052014. So I should be hit OK. Yep. Good. Okay. So now I can depreciate. Click. And I want to do all assets through 12/05/2014. Good. I click OK. It's initializing. And I should get a different number. I did when I did my test. Let's see if I do. Whoops. Did I close that by accident? Nope, here it is. What Sage Fixed Asset does, it opens another window, and it shows your crystal report in that window. So this is a crystal report. And yes, in fact, as you see, I did get a different number. So I didn't get hit by Murphy, even though I forgot to undo what I did on Sunday and put it back to how it was. Now I can tell the account, oh, in May of 2014, we only had 304 assets that we depreciated. The total acquired value was $5,904,782.30, and we were able to claim only $112,000, $546.56, rather than $387 by the end of the year. And now you can give this report to your accountants. They go away happy. You're a hero. By the way, this didn't work. They fixed this problem in this release, 2016.1, because we actually had a client that had the exact problem. When they ran it, it's the acquired value didn't change. It counted assets that were put in service or purchased after May of 2015. But I called up Karen because of one of her customers and said, oh, they fixed this problem that they had. So we're telling them, just get the next version and you can do exactly what we wanted to do. So as you see, fixed assets is really flexible, that you're able to run depreciation schedules for any point in time and backfit it. So you can go back and run the schedule. Now I can correct it so I don't forget for next, if I have to do this again, I'm going to depreciate through the end of the year now, 12 for my tax book for active assets, and click OK, and it's going to run through. And my number should go back to that 6,206,313 and 387,175 for my cumulative depreciation. Am I going too quick? Because I tend to zip along. So if I go to my last page, I can see I'm in fact back to my numbers. Book is back to what it should be. I'm back to December. And now I'm going to go set my period close back to 12 for all books, to all, to 12/2014 for active assets. Okay, and it goes through and sets it. That's what I plan to talk about today. Of course, we still have time if anybody has any questions specifically they want answered. Actually, we're right on schedule. But if you have questions, I'm glad to stay on and continue talking about Sage Fixed Assets. So, Glenn or Jody, if you have specific questions.
Yeah, Dennis, this is Glenn. I'm assuming that with the integration with Sage 300, that when you run your depreciation, it will write straight to Sage and record the depreciation for each month to the appropriate accounts?
No, what it does is you actually do this. We have a link, depreciation links. You go to Sage 300 because you get it's got to close my current company because you can pick the company that you want. It's opening up. So you pick your database that you want to you do your depreciation schedule. It's going to allow you to review it and a posting date. Of course, it's using my date here, so I want to change this to 12/31. Oops, sorry, 1/2. Got to do it right. Got to do it this way. 2014. Or pick it from the calendar. Even better. That's what I want. December 31st. And then my post date for my Sage 300 will be the same period. Any reference number that will go to Sage test. It'll generate it, show me my entries it's going to make, and then if I like that, I can actually post that. So it's not an automatic process. It's you actually do that and you actually post it. And
right,
when you post
but it is integrated in that you take the step process and then it creates the entry to
correct
import it or whatever. Yeah. Okay.
And since Fixed Assets can talk to multiple Sage databases or companies in this case, you pick the company and then you supply your Sage credentials to do that post.
Okay.
So it actually does it for you. Now, like I said, in Sage 300, you create an asset. So you may do a purchase order and receive it. And when you receive the purchase order, then you go and create the asset. It's just a little menu and say proceed. And it'll check and say, well, I don't have any to create now. I created them already. As I've shown you earlier when we first started, I can look at the assets I have created so far from Sage 300 into Fixed Assets. And if I went to my Fixed Assets, you'll see they were at the bottom. Apologize, I have a cold and I'm just coughing. Let it finish because I have a window open. I have to open a company before I can look at my assets, right? That would help. It closed it when you do that, so I had to, and there's my snapshot, close. So I can pick those. So I can see the my asset view. Close this down. Scroll to the bottom. So there's those three assets that I created in Sage 300. See 'em?
Now, do you have to have purchase order in order to do that?
No, you can do it from accounts payable.
Okay.
So in Sage 300, in accounts payable, you can directly do a vendor bill. We scroll to the top.
Okay.
So if I do a transaction and I do an invoice batch list, and here's one I actually did, I can open it. I get a checkbox for Fixed Assets right here. So I can actually, excuse me. I'm going to turn the recording off so I don't hear me coughing on the tape. Let me turn that off.